Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for being here. This is Raki Flores Connection Corner. As you see, I am here by myself today, trying to see Miss Syya. Hello, knock knock. Where are you? I hope everyone's doing fantastic on this Saturday beautiful morning. It's actually kind of cool outside today. So we're doing just fine. But anyhow, I want to check. I want to see who's out there, who's popping up. I'm really excited to see you guys here and have a fantastic conversation with our beautiful guest Susannah, and so many things to share. But before we get to that, let me get to see who's popping up. I'm really excited. Who's coming? Who's coming? Who's coming? Tell me where you're tuning in from and how you're doing, what you're planning on for today, etc. But yeah, so guess what, y'all? This is my first time ever like doing this on my own. So excuse anything that happens. It's not my fault. I don't know how to handle these things, but you know what? I want to see if Miss Sia actually taught me right? Because she actually just went over some of these things yesterday. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if she's doing this on purpose to see if I can handle the pressure. I'm actually doing a show by myself. So we'll see if we can do this, y'all. Shout out to everybody who's pulling up. I love you guys. And just wanted to say, hey, thank you for the support as always being here. So let's see who is let me see. I'm gonna hide that. I want to see your comments. Let's see, guys. All right. Who's pulling up really quick? I see Randy. Hey, Randy OG, thank you so much for coming. I love you always. As always, the support is amazing. I see Constance. I know. What the? She's just like, where's Sia? I don't know. Shall we call her live and see where she's at? But yeah, this is so funny, y'all. It's really interesting. I have quite a respect and different, I guess, view for individuals who manage these sort of programs and do all this. This is just so cool. So the other intricacies in the background. So shout out to you, Gabe, Gabe, and Trevor, and all those individuals who actually do all this. Junaid, everyone, right? Who do shows for individuals, because there are so many different things and aspects that you don't think about, and they just manage to just do it so fluid. And so I love this. I'm so excited. So shout out to you, Ashif and Trevor, everybody who's pulling up. I love it. Oh, who showed up? Why is he in here? I don't know. Am I supposed to bring you up, Mr. Mike Asherbranner? Asherbranner? No. Okay. But anyhow, so thank you so much. So today, basically, I have a couple of things that I wanted to run through, and besides giving everybody shout outs, but I just want to let me see. I want to make sure that everything's looking okay and sounding okay. Can you guys please tell me if it is in your end? That way I can go on with the show and what we need to do. I see myself there. Gosh, 45 of y'all watching. Jeez, thank you for the love. Oh my gosh. I am like so excited though, because this is new to me. So bear with me as I run through all these different things, all these different, pop ups and everything that I'm going to have to handle. But the idea is to have a lovely chat. Our guest is amazing here. Shout out to you, Kofi. I know you have your program at 11, and we're going to try to finish it, wrap it up just in time so everybody can hop with you too, okay? And so, anyhow, I'm going to quit chatting and I'm going to run the intro. So, let's see how this goes, guys. Hey y'all, welcome to my corner. This is your girl Raquel, aka Raki. Step into our world of connections where I'm a proud Hounds of Business Pack leader, which is a community of entrepreneurs committed to sharing positivity, growing together, and never forgetting to inject some fun. Get to know amazing people in this safe space, so come and join me in my connection corner. And there we have it, y'all. And dance and dance And dance. I love that. I don't know why I'm biased, right? But this is my song and I love it, and it just puts me in that mood to actually be active and do several things and be productive, right? So, I don't know what type of music I would like for y'all to chime in. What type of music gets you in that inspirational mood to actually get things done at the top of the day, right? I love it. But anyhow, so before we get into further conversation, I want to shout out a couple of our sponsors, right, who make this possible. I don't know if I'll have the graphics for that, but I'll send a lot of love and I'll put as much as I can out there for y'all. But one of the first ones is my one and only, who's actually in backstage trying to see if he can corral everything, Mr. Mike Asherbrander and Hounds of Business Happy Hour Pack. Okay, he's one of the business leaders, amazing individuals on this platform. If you have not met Mike yet, I don't know where you've been. Where have you been? Under a rock? I don't know. But connect with him. He's an amazing folk. He's an amazing individual. Definitely always wanting to support in a big community, and just being amazing, right? So, Mike, I think I got it. I'll get it from here. Just don't touch anything. He's in the backstage trying to tell me, "Hey, Raquel, I'm here." But I think we're gonna be just fine. And so, yes, Mike is one an amazing individual. He just goes out and basically supports everyone. So if you want to be part of another of a big community who really shows up for one another in a genuine and authentic way, look no further. The Hounds is definitely where you want to be. So love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you, Mike, for trying to help out. I love it. I love it. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, let me help you." Yes, I think I'll get it. I'll be okay. The idea and the most important part of this is actually the conversation and the value that the guest of today is going to bring. So, the second sponsor is Brilliant Being Media. Hello, Miss Syya. Hi, how are you? I love you. She's probably like, I don't know what's going on, but yes, so Sia and Berlin Being Media, as always, making things happen, being amazing, setting up this amazing setup for everyone who works with with the media company. So it's amazing. I love it. Then our third one is Tazi Brands. Here we go. Janice Shokrian, shout out to you and your amazing product. I've been enjoying it. It's been so amazing. It's actually sitting over there in my office chair, and but yeah, it's been amazing. It's been doing so many wonders for my back. So thank you so much, Janice, for gifting me that. And I love it. I love it that we're collaborating, we're cross pollinating, as CEOs like to say, on so many different projects that are happening in the back end that you guys are not aware, but eventually they'll come to the surface and y'all see them. But anyhow, so I wanted to give a couple more shout outs before we move on. And since I'm running this by myself, y'all, my kids may pop in really quick. So FYI, disclaimer, it is Saturday morning, it is family time. Although you tell kids, hey, leave mommy alone for like an hour, kids will be kids and they'll do whatever they want to do. So FYI, disclaimer, if y'all see them popping up, that's just because they're trying to be kids and want to get attention from mommy. So, but anyways, cheers. I'm having my little coffee, cat lover, as you can see. Mm. With me what you are drinking this morning. What is your favorite beverage? Is it coffee? Is it juice? Is it tea? I'm a coffee girl. So, being from El Salvador definitely helps out. So, it's one of those things. It's like we have it in our veins and it just pops up. But anyhow, so yes, share with me what you're drinking. I like to learn. And if there's something that I need to try, like a coffee grind from somewhere else that you want to definitely recommend, let me know. I have a surprise for you, but hopefully once Sia pops up, I can actually grab it and share it with y'all. But in the meantime, I actually have wanted to do something really quick. Give a couple of shout outs to individuals who have been very elemental in my growth, and also individuals who I just met and who are doing fantastic things, and just in the entire world. So prior to that, the book that I wanted to highlight this week and for the remainder of the month is by the one and only, and I saw him in the audience earlier, Kofi Duhadi. So the Unbroken Optimist, y'all. Make sure y'all grab a copy of it. It's amazing what he has done so far, and with his career, with all the lives that he's impacted. So Kofi, shout out to you. I know that you have your show at 11, so I'm going to try to wrap this up as soon as possible so that everybody can hop on and listen to the amazing things you have to talk with Mando Savalati. So yes, so everyone grab a copy, pick a copy up from Amazon. And yeah, it's an amazing book. Like I said, I started reading it, and the value that he has is just, whew, it's amazing. Not only that, but he has his own publishing company and copywriting, and also his own products, which I love it. And yes, Paul, the Outlier Project. Oh my gosh, how can I forget that, right? So y'all, follow, if you haven't connected and follow with Kofi, please go ahead and do that. And because he's amazing, he's an amazing. He has so many things to offer. So big loves to you. But okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and move forward. Then we're going to, since we're already 15 minutes in, and that's usually when I bring in my guest, I want to welcome our guest of today. She has so many amazing things. Her story is just simply powerful. And I want to be able for you all to get the full scope and spectrum of just everything that she's done in her life, and this new power that she has. And of course, you want mommy love, don't you? Oh my God. And so I definitely want to make sure that you all get the value and walk away with so many different things that she has to provide. And she was on a show earlier with this week earlier with Paul, so shout out to you, Paul, again. But in every single show, that whenever we get invited as guests, we always want to make sure that we give value to the audience. And in every single show that she's been, she's always delivered that. And because she's always hard. So I definitely want you all to pay attention and just chime in the comments, chime in, ask her questions. And without further ado, though, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring her up. Welcome to the show, Susannah Dawn. I don't have the soundboard, okay?
That's fine.
Just know that
Thanks, Raquel.
it's just so funny. We were like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? But yes, so I definitely want to, thank you for your time here. Thank you for being here uh, so early, because it's like 8 for you.
Well, yeah, but then again, there's Melissa Houston has her audio chat that starts at 6 in the morning. So,
Oh my gosh, that is so true. That is true.
and there's a lot of people here that were on that.
Yes, yes. So shout out to you, Melissa, and man, you're a trooper. Keep going. You're doing so many amazing things too. So shout out to you. But yeah, thank you so much again, Susanna, for being here, and for being so graceful with your time, and the value and the amazing things that you're going to provide for the audience today. So before we dive deep into the conversation, though, I would like for individuals to know who you are and what you do.
So I'll just take it the way I often do when I start
Yes.
describing myself. All my life, I got placed in boxes. From really early on. It's like I knew who I was, but by the age of 7, that's when people started boxing me, telling me who I was, what I was. It really kind of messed up my confidence for by the time I got out of high school because of all these boxes, and I got to the point where I was done with boxes. Then coming into last year, I went through what I call a total reinvention, and during that, then what I will tell people to get a better grasp of my story is the face that you're looking at is only 2.5, getting close to 3 years old now. And when we talk about these boxes, the box that I stayed away from, the box I couldn't deal with, is the trans box, because it's just a word. It's not who I was. I knew who I was at the age of 3. I was praying every night to God at the age of 3 to wake up a girl because I knew that's who I was. And once my dad figured it out, that's when the spanking started and the teasing, the ridicule, and that's when the boxing started. And that's when the imposter syndrome started too. So that it's all of this is kind of mashed together. And coming into last year, Over the last few years, another key aspect between boxes reinvention was authenticity, to be my authentic self. And that is what's happened over the past few years, and coming into this year especially. What I really want to do is help people, and especially women, to be their authentic self. This is not a trans issue. This is an everybody issue. We're always putting up walls to hide who we are. We're always, if you're neurodiverse, if you're LGBT, if you have a mental health issue, we put these walls up. And so this is where I want to step back and say, let's stop hiding and just be our authentic selves, because that's what we were made to
Oh my
be.
God.
We're each
Absolutely.
unique.
I definitely want to stop you right there because in those few minutes that you were just talking, I mean, just so much power in your story. And there's just it's so heavy in that sense that it's so loaded, but at the same time it's so valuable. So I really want you to make sure that you speak more on that, though, the authenticity part, right? Because we get so hung up on labels. Society's had, I don't know why, but you and I have had this conversation, but we have such a desire to label and to place ourselves in different, just niches and corners, and I'm like, I don't know why can't we just be who we are, and it doesn't matter, and not feel judged, right? So I really want you to dive deep and a little bit more into authenticity, because we either, even though we come from different backgrounds, we share those intersections where we felt we couldn't be ourselves because we had to fit a mold. In my aspect, it comes from a cultural, right? I have to be this culture. I have to, just fit into these sets of. It's like I don't even understand like ritualistic cultural things, and I'm like, but why? So speak on that, and then I'll chime in after you're done with it.
The authenticity is really being who you were born to be, being who you are at your core. And society, when they stick us in these boxes, and the boxes, it's a two-way street. Either society sticks us in the box, or we put ourselves in the box because of fear. When society puts us in a box, the people that put us in a box, they paint everybody in that box with the same paintbrush. They go in and cherry pick an example that fits their narrative of how everybody in that box is. And the reality is, everybody in the box, no matter what, if it's women, men, neurodiverse, trans, whatever, they're just as diverse as the rest of the country. So they go just as far left as they go right, as the country goes left and right. And being our authentic selves is like, stop holding us back. Just let us be ourselves and realize that you can't say everybody's the same, because that's not what we're made to be. So when I'm being my authentic self, the difference that I see, that I've lived through, is having to be what I was in a box in the past. Didn't have confidence. I didn't have hope. I didn't really know what to do. I felt like I was floundering through life. Once I'm myself, once I'm, and it's a scary process. It can be a scary process to step out of that box and say, here I am. Yet when I stepped out of the box and I had people around me who were there to support me and help me, and this is what you get. You see somebody like me who I have a whole lot more confidence than I ever had, probably my whole life combined up to now. And that includes time as a cavalry officer and all the places I've worked and the travel I've done. This is where I'm
Tell us a
supposed to
little bit
be.
about
This
that.
is where I talk.
Yeah, and that's where your richness comes from. And I believe that you said something really key. You were ready to really get out of that box. What triggered that part, Susanna? because I know so many individuals are fitting into so many boxes. They get stuck in so many boxes, whatever box that may be for you. For the audience, for me, I know which box that was. Right, is the conforming to cultural beliefs, and just I digressed from that, and I decided to stand for myself. But for you, what was that triggering aspect that you said, you know what, enough is enough?
It's a journey that kind of started about 6 years ago in 2017 when I told my stepdaughter my story, and that was kind of a turning point. But then another piece to me, and this is why I break boxes, faith was my foundation. So really, one of the things that helped me to take my next steps was after telling my daughter, who was ready to kick me onto hormones, and I'm like, oh, hold on a minute. I mean, here's my story, but that doesn't mean I'm ready for something. I actually went to the Bible looking for a reason to not be me. And because so many people go to the Bible to find a reason to do whatever it is they want to do, I decided to take a different approach. I wanted to find why I couldn't. And really, what came to me was I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. And over the years since then, I've gotten closer in faith. I've seen miracles that I never dreamed would happen. And the first one was when I got back home from overseas in 2019, Christmas of 19. I walked into a Sephora store with my middle daughter, and I asked a question about foundation. She's talking to a beauty advisor. I say something. The advisor drops her like a hot potato, focuses on me, and this is where I knew I was being watched because I was not allowed to take my attention off of her. And by the time I walked out of the store, I had foundation on, I had light eyeshadow, I had a light blush. My hair was already long, I was already androgynous enough. The door was open, and it's like, okay, now I'm putting the feelers out. And by the time things opened up after that shutdown period, I was on my way.
Oh,
And it's like, okay, the door's open, let's do this. And it was shortly after that that I created my motto. It was late 20, early 2021, where everybody who's seen, there's the motto. I'm not what I used to be, yet I am who I've always been.
my God.
This is who I've always been. I just had to be an imposter for 50 years before I was finally allowed to be me.
Y'all take a moment to really just like listen into that and just like internalize it. I'm not what I used to be, yet I am who I've always been. That has been one of the most powerful quotes that I've ever read in my life. And I congratulate you and commend you for writing such beautiful words, because I also know you have a background as a writer. But it's so powerful. It speaks to so many individuals. It speaks to so many different, it resonates on a different level with so many different individuals, right? But it's wow, that's like a legacy that you could leave right there. So having, with your writing background, tell us a little bit about more. How did that come about, and what do you do nowadays that you're a writer? I mean, because you do, you write in so many different things.
I I love writing. I've always kind of written all my life, and then it was in the 90s I started to really focus on some stories after a dream, and I worked on them over years, and I would submit them to contests, and nothing really happened. It was really, again, let's go back to faith. It was in a Bible study reading the book of Ephesians where I had I was reading the 6th chapter, which has the armor of God in it. And I got my grandfather's book. He was a Lutheran pastor. And as I'm reading it, I finally figured out what he was numbering. And the question came into my mind, can I write a fantasy book about this? And over the next 3 years, I wrote a story about the armor of God set in kind of a medieval ish setting, fantasy. no, no mythical creatures or anything, but just I wrote it, and then it was so long I had to cut it in half. So I've got Search for the Armor of God and then Battle for the Armor of God. They're still in manuscript form right now. So I want to self-publish
Okay.
these. And that big blue ribbon right there, that is an award in an international book contest for Search for the Armor of God as a first place award. It was one of the last 7 standing in that contest. And then I have a memoir that's supposed to come out on my reinvention, I think, after the first of the year. And I'm writing a 3,000 page or 3,000 word chapter for a collaboration book. The book is called Never Give Up and is supposed to come out, I think, middle of the summer. And then, I mean, a lot of people, they'll see my posts on Duinbrook, the Forest of Duinbrook, and the Lady Guardians. So I've found a way to put stories in my posts, and that's just the way that I write my posts. Uh, I'm not the short post writer. I often come up to the maximum and have to be cutting things out at the last second. But it's just the way I do it, and I don't write big paragraphs. I try to make it so people can flow through it, and I got a huge boost this morning when I was on Melissa's, and Trevor told me that what I've written in these posts, even just in the last couple of weeks, has been a big deal for him. And so it's always nice to hear that, because you look at the connections, the reactions, the impressions. You think about the algorithm. It's like, is anybody really hearing or reading it? And to get affirmation is just a
It's a
blessing.
validation, and I'm so glad that you brought that up. That people get so hung up on, oh, is the vanity metrics, right? They get so hung up on, oh, did I reach, did I get the likes, did I get the comments? But at the end of the day, is what you just said. What impact, what engagement, the value that you're giving. You're giving of yourself so much. You're writing and writing out of your heart. Is it sticking with someone? Is it resonating with someone? And that at the end is what feeds our soul. I know you and I have had this conversation, and that's what feeds my soul. How many people I can impact, on a daily basis, to snap out of it, go out there and do their thing, because they have so much value to give to the world. So, and I'm just glad that you had the courage, that you had the just the ability to do it, right? As traumatic as the journey may have been, but at least you had the courage to face it and say, this is who I am. This is what I can provide. This is what I can gift the world, because all of us have a gift, okay? All of us have a gift to give to the world. And it's just a matter of taking courage and taking a stand and saying, here it is what I can give to the world. And you've done that very much thing, with your storytelling, with just being amazing. And talk about also, possibly speaking engagements, being a professional speaker.
Well, and that's really where I want to get to, is do more speaking. Speak for companies, speak for um, employee resource groups, but really get on the stage and talk about a focus around being your authentic self. That, in many ways, is the center of everything. The reinvention is a part of that. Moving beyond boxes is a part of that. And I'm actually going to be. I was picked up to be an online summit speaker in the middle of next month, and I'm working on putting things together for that, and how I want to put that together. The focus of that one is basically, I talk about when you own your fear, then the fear doesn't own you. And that's more of the subtitle of this. When you own the fear, so it's being your authentic self is a way to get over the fear. When you get over that fear, when you own it, like in my case, okay, sure, I'm trans. You won't hear me say that very much, because it's only a piece. And when you own it, you say it to who you want, when you want, how you want, where you want, if you want. And then you're no longer worried if somebody finds out. You're not worried about that anymore. You're being your authentic self. Now you can start looking at the opportunities. Now you can look at the reinvention you want to do. And reinvention can be small, it can be big. I've done both. I mean, obviously this one is kind of big, but I've done small too. It's just changing jobs can be a small reinvention. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and so you have on the title because that really defines you, who you are, as Reinvention Maven, and I mean, I love that because it really does genuinely, authentically define who you are as a person now and who you've always been, right?
Well, and I take it as I've already reinvented in many ways, and part of being a reinvention is being outside of the box, having that outside viewpoint. When I talk about reinvention and look at the challenges some people will see for whatever it is that they want to do, what their goal is, I've come up with an approach that I liken it. The picture I use, I go back to Kong Skull Island. So if anybody's ever seen this particular movie, when the main characters are walking into this big hall and they see all these white lines and sketches and stuff on the walls, but they don't see a picture. When they get to the middle, they see a picture. It's a picture of Kong. Well, I view that as that picture of Kong, that's like the objective. That's the goal where you want to get, but you don't know how to get there because you feel like there's too many obstacles in the way. Well, if you backtrack up, you change that perspective, like in that hall, you step a few feet from the middle where you see obstacles and a problem, you step to the side and you see, well, actually, there's ways to get around, or you can turn the obstacles into speed bumps. And once you've done that, it makes the journey easier. And if you've got somebody that can take that outside point of view to help you see that the journey's not that bad and it is doable,
Mhm.
then it helps them to actually get where they want to be, where they should be, and to stop listening to the fear that's trying to keep them in that box, in the
Oh my
dark.
gosh, can we just take a second and acknowledge what you just said? You know, it's just like on that journey, on that road, you will come across speed bumps, right? But they're not obstacles. Don't look at them as obstacles. Look at them as, halt, recalculate, and then get a little more push to get over that. Oh my gosh, like if y'all better be taking notes. I'm serious because I'm over here like trying to keep up and trying to type and at the same time manage this, but Susanna, I mean, you just come with so much power in those words that you deliver, but and that speaks to the power of your story and the inspiration that you serve for you serve as inspiration to so many individuals. But you know, and that's the one thing that I always tell individuals, like, okay, so what are your speed bumps? What are you seeing as obstacles? What box are you trying to get out of? Because we all do, we all have these boxes, these labels, these negative toxic environments that are keeping us withheld. But what's not allowing you, what's preventing you from actually getting out of it? So I mean, gosh, that is such a beautiful moment right there, y'all. So I hope y'all took notes because it's amazing. Are you gonna have a book anytime soon? Just like a summation of all these
Um,
quotes.
it's working. I'm working on it because when you talk about the box right there, that's part of what people have to get over. The box is not solid, but it's the fear that's in that box, the fear that's that's always telling you these lies with a grain of truth. So imposter syndrome.
That's
Uh,
a huge one.
it's like if you're dealing with imposter syndrome, the fear is holding you back. It's using grains of truth so that if you look through the cracks, I mean, it doesn't want you to look through the cracks, but if you look through those cracks, you look outside and you will see the grains of truth, and it's hoping that that's enough to keep you inside, where it's safe, where nobody will know that you're a fraud, when the reality is, especially with women, so many of us are. You look at that string that got you from there to here, and if you really look at it, you look at what you've accomplished. You're not ready for the next job. You're not ready for the job after that. You're ready for number 3, 4, maybe even number 5 job. And it's because fear holds us back. The thing is, those cracks allow light into the box. That light is the awareness. So the more light that gets in the box, the less shadow. The less shadow, the less place for the fear to hide. Because fear can only be in the dark, it can only be in the shadows. Once it's in the light, it's for some, take it to the Bible. If when the Lord puts his light on your heart and you see everything, then you see the good and the bad, and you have a choice. The same is in the box. Once the light's coming in, that sparks the awareness. And when the awareness is sparked, you want to see more of what's outside. And when you look out and fear's still saying, here's the truth buried in the lies, you look outside and you can kind of go, yeah, I see the truth, but it's really not the truth. Because the real truth is, I'm so much more than what this box was telling me I was. Each of us is more than the box, the label that gets stuck on us. In fact, because we're human, because we're unique, so many of us fit many boxes. Well, the reality is, you can add all those boxes up, and you're so much more than every box that you could fit combined, because you're unique. You were made for a purpose. You were made unique. You were not made to fall in line with what somebody else said. You were given consciousness and a heart, and if you use your heart and you follow the second great commandment, which is to love your neighbor as yourself, treat them the way you want to be treated, kind of deal. Look at people for who they are, as a person, not as a
My
label.
gosh, absolutely, I completely agree with you on that, Susanna. Gosh, where's the soundboard? Jesus, I'm just like, yay, ha! I completely agree with you on that in that regard. You know why? Because to me, and I'm going to share something very personal, that I was coming from where I come from. And being Hispanic, and it's going to sound really bad, but my Hispanic people are people who know what I mean from the other cultures. It's just like the expectation is not so much. So my expectation was just barely to graduate from high school, according to my culture. Barely to graduate from high school. Maybe I was going to get pregnant, maybe I was going to get lost in drugs, who knows. But that was the box I was already put in, right? And that's not what I wanted for my life. That's not my dream. I wanted to go on to college. I wanted to get an education. Unfortunately, the surroundings in my environment at that by that moment when I was growing up wasn't conducive for me to do that. So I had to fight for that right for me. And but in fighting for that right of saying I deserve more than this box that you're putting me into, I became the black sheep because I digressed from that norm, right? So we digressed from that and we became black sheep. So I like to call it as a mesh of like a unicorn sheep. I don't know what you would call that, but we're unique in that sense that we had to fight against this. And I talk it as like it's a power of bigger than ourselves in a sense, right? But who determined this power? Who determined those norms were the correct ones to follow? I am the chief of my ship. I will go ahead and go whichever route I want to go to, but yet you have those people who will judge you for standing up for yourself, and I'm like, but why? If I'm not hurting you, if I'm not hurting that person, if I'm not hurting anyone by doing what my heart desires and going out there and really going after my dreams, Why would you not want that to happen for me? So it comes to the whole labels, right? Not to get on a different rant, but it just what you said really triggered me because I've been so, ever since I was little, I've been put into boxes. And I'm like, no, I don't fit there. I don't fit there. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to hush. I'm done hushing. I'm going to speak out. And I believe that this is how you and I, we definitely intersected and talked about that. And I'm like, we're just so tired of being quiet. Like, let's just talk about these things.
Mhm.
Let's start educating individuals. Like, just because you're not red, green, white, or whatever it is, that doesn't mean that the blues and the other colors are not correct. Everybody has their own unique sense, and I think I just went on a rant. Where's Sia with the Sia rant? But no, but isn't it true though? We feel the same way.
Well, we've got that for the boxes, but I wanna go to something that Dave R says in the thing. It just popped out at me, where he talks about sometimes being in the box is the right place to be for you at that particular time. The box doesn't have to automatically be negative, and that is true. There's some people that they need the box, they want the box. It depends on how you want to viewpoint the box. To me, all my life, I've been stuck in boxes and trying to get out. But I know there are some people that they need the box. For them, life is happier when they have more of that structure or whatever. So it's not that boxes have to be negative, but for so many of us, it is. It's got that negative connotation. The approach that I take with it is look at how people are being treated because of the box they get put in, because of the way society is, and it makes it hard to open up. If you have mental health issues, it's like, no, you're not supposed to talk about that. And that's part of why we can't be authentic. Just because somebody's got mental health issues does not mean that there's a problem. I mean, there's ways to work, and so many people, if you're neurodiverse, you just work in a different way, and you've got skill sets that somebody who's not doesn't. And I almost wonder sometimes if people get put in boxes like this out of jealousy by the person sticking them in there.
I completely agree with you on that in that aspect. Now that you brought up the boxes of DEI and just being diverse. Period. One of my daughters is neurodiverse. I've shared that in the past, and I don't see it as that though because her brain is brilliant. She has so much just intelligence that I can't begin to even understand how her process of thoughts is sometimes. And she's brilliant at
Mhm.
math. And I'm just like, yeah, that's something I wasn't that great at. And so I see her processes and I'm just thinking, wow, like why do people want to negatively label somebody who's diverse, neurodiverse, as a bad thing when it's a gift? It's a gift that we have, right? So talk a little bit more about the gift, and then also I'm curious about the emoji in your name.
Okay, so in this, as you're talking about the box and people sticking people in, I think part of it is they don't understand. So they don't understand the people they stick in the box, and that's why they pick a subset to use as the example for everybody and paint it that way, and then they will only find whatever reports, data support their narrative. Then then there are others that they use it as a control mechanism because you stick people in a box, it's power. It's I don't know why people have to keep doing this because it comes down to the fact that the box, anybody that's in a box, they're not the same as others in the box. You stick me in a trans box, I don't fit. I don't fit with that crowd. There's so many. in the box I've met that I just had to back away. I'm not the same as they are. Their life experiences, their at what they've gone through is different than me, and I don't take away anybody's lived experience, but we have to keep that in mind too. Your life is different than somebody else's, and just because you shove everybody in a box does not mean that they're the same. And when you talk about my emoji, I I originally had three butterflies, and it was kind of that obvious butterfly cocoon coming out of your shell kind of deal. But then going into last year, I flipped the middle butterfly into an eagle because I wanted to start flying. My word for last year was faith. And I realized really, and it was put on my heart. And it was put on my heart. I went through the year with faith. And I think that was really, it was faith that things were going to improve through the year. I may not fly the way I wanted, but there was so much improvement by the time the year was over. My word for this year is to fly. And again, it was stuck on my heart like the last day of last year. And that's where I'm at now. The third that last butterfly, I thought about this for a while, and then it came to me the last half of last year. That butterfly stands for the butterfly effect. And this is not the butterfly effect that a butterfly in Taiwan will create a hurricane in Florida thing. This is Ray Bradbury's definition of a butterfly effect as written in A Sound of Thunder. To go back in the past, and this is a time travel story. So to go back in the past, if you were to do something that changes the past, even as simple as to step on a butterfly, and then you come back to the present, things will be, they might look the same, but something will be different. And it will be a difference that you may not even like. This is my life. I can look at what I've gone through. I can look at the pain I've dealt with. I would not go back and change any of it because I can now look in a mirror and say, I love who I see. The person looking back at me is who I've always been. And if I were to change anything in the past, that would put me on a different course of life. And who I ended up being, I might not like that person. That could be a really mean person. That could be a person who's not even alive after a few years. It's a totally different person. And I'm not willing to give up, most importantly, the people that I've met, especially over these past few years. I have met the most wonderful people, and even just within the hounds, it's like I couldn't have asked for better sisters than I have found
Oh, yeah,
here.
let's take a moment and definitely speak to the power of that, right? It's just having that support system. So, shout out to you, sisters from the Hounds, and also the brothers who are just always there day in and day out, supporting our endeavors, supporting our ideas, and even supporting us when we have our down days, when we are really not feeling up to like, hey, yeah, it's one of those things that it's hard to explain and put into words. I think you feel the same way, Susannah, that we have so much support. It's really difficult to describe it sometimes because you're thinking, oh my gosh, like all these negative things have been happening to me, one thing after the other. And then you find a group of people, right, within this community who are there without expectations. So I know that you have, your core individuals. I have my core individuals, but at the end of the day, we're all going together and nurturing one another and supporting on our different journeys. because we all have different journeys. However, we intersect in the sense of that we are kind-hearted individuals. We have a big heart of gold. We wear our heart on our sleeve, and we want to be able to educate, empower, and inspire communities, people within the communities, and just globally, right? I know it's we want to talk about just we're dreamers because we are dreamers. We want to do so many wonderful things for the world, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, we have to be realistic. Okay, how much impact can we deliver? And just with you and your words, Susannah, you've done so much to change so many individuals' lives. Sharing your story, as difficult as it may have been in the past, I know it's going to start getting easier and easier and easier. May not be everybody's cup of tea. I'm not everybody cup, cups of tea, coffee, whatever beverage you would decide. But at the end of the day, it's like I know my value, I know my worth, I know what I can provide and give to the world. And as long as I'm leading with intent and purpose and leading with kindness, the rest will follow. And I feel the same with you. So I know we're coming to our close. I know. Oh my gosh, we've been talking for 50 minutes almost. This is crazy. That speaks to the power of the value, right? But how can people find you? Whoever would like to work with you, whether it's entrepreneurs, individuals, or just simply connect with you, how can they find you, Susannah?
Most everything for me is on LinkedIn at this point. So my LinkedIn profile, that's the easiest way to get with me. I think my email's on there as well. Susannah.dawn.writer@gmail.com. And I also have, I'm getting ready to start. Um, I'll have a power word workshop that I'm now able to start doing for people to help them do find their power word. It's like a mini vision board in a way. And by June, I'll also be doing available to do vision board workshops. And this is a type of vision board that really it's more intuitive, and it it puts the person at the center of their own vision board. So they really it means something to them, and when they do this vision board, they're ready to take charge of their life and their goals.
Absolutely. And I know you talked about that idea, so I really enjoyed that, and all the different projects that you have coming up, and it's just amazing. So I congratulate you. I commend you for that. It's been amazing, just hearing your story, bits and pieces of it, right? Because I know we can only give so much in a span of a 30-minute conversation. But if you can leave our audience with a parting message or a golden nugget, what would you give them today? What would be your gift for today?
Well, see, besides my motto,
Which is hot on fire, by the way.
it's be your authentic self and find the people that can help you to help you break down these walls, to to not let the fear keep holding you back, because you were created to be so much more than something that fear can control. You weren't built, you weren't created for fear to control you. You were created to bring love and joy into the world, and that means you control the fear. It doesn't control you.
Wow. You control the fear, it doesn't control you. If that doesn't sink into your heart, and if these words that, this quote that Susanna wrote doesn't sink into your heart, I mean, oh my gosh, are you a rock or something? Not living under a rock, but are you a rock? Because everything that you've said today is so heartfelt, and I really hope the audience takes away that at least that resonating factor, right? That everybody is different, everybody's unique in essence. It's not, our differences are not meant to separate us, they're meant to unite us and celebrate them, right? So, wow. Susannah, thank you so much for your time, for your grace, and just for the value that you imparted our audience with. I appreciate you. You know, I love you. I cannot wait for the day we actually meet.
Oh, I saw Sia's in the
I saw her
comments,
too.
so
I see ya. Tell me how I did. Tell me how I did. I think we had so much fun. I'm like, maybe I could do this too on the side. I don't know, but it's been fun.
It was great talking with you, and I'm glad you were able to basically pick me the day before my last day of being 57.
I
Let's put it
know
that
we're
way.
celebrating your birthday. Yay. Okay. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. I'm gonna have to sing happy birthday to you. Wow. Okay, y'all. So cover y'all's ears. Okay.
It's
But I
tomorrow.
know, but I'm gonna give you a pre. So everybody, if y'all just say happy birthday to Susanna, pre happy birthday, but I'm gonna sing happy birthday to her. So okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Susanna. Happy birthday to you. Woo! That's the first time I actually
Oh,
sing.
thank you. You've got a great voice.
Oh,
You've got an awesome singing voice.
thank you so much. I think only Brian, Segre, and Lauren, and actually no, some of the hounds have heard me sing. I haven't. I guess their ears haven't bled yet. So
Well, now they've all heard you
thank you
sing.
so much, Susanna. Again, happy, very happy birthday, early birthday, and I celebrate you. I celebrate everything you're about and the message that you're imparting to the world. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the audience. So I'm gonna send you backstage really quick. Say bye to everybody, to Susanna.
Bye, bye, everybody. It was great.
Just
Thank
hang
you
out
so
in the back,
much.
okay? Oh my God, y'all. I am just like, how fantastic was that? I cannot believe that we got so much valuable information from this conversation. I'm inspired. Susanna has been one of those individuals who's recently come into my life, but she just rocked my world. Let's put it that way. She rocked my world. She rocked so many of the world, and the people in the hounds and the community. So I thank you so much for sticking around. And you're like, oh my gosh, Raquel, what are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. But if anybody wants me to sing happy birthday to them, I'll be more than happy to do so. Just let me know. I love it. I love spreading kindness. I love spreading joy, smiles, whatever you want to call it, all the good feels. Okay. So, parting shout outs to people, man. Yeah, Sia, I get you when you say you cannot keep up with the chat, you cannot keep up with the comments, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot, I cannot keep on it. So sorry to y'all that I couldn't highlight some of your comments, because, like I said, I'm learning with this, and this is so awesome. But I have deep respect. So shout out to you, Gabe, again, Trevor, and everybody who does this for a living. Shout out to y'all, because y'all are definitely OGs. But anyways, talking about OGs, Mike Asher Banner, thank you so much. I love you, Randy. I love you guys. And yeah, so I know Kofi started his show, his audio event already. So I definitely want to invite you guys to go over to his page and listen and support. Okay, so I'll be there right quick. But other than that, man. See you guys next Saturday with another amazing guest. I actually am gonna have my twinsy, the other Raquel Flores. So you do not want to miss it. It's going to be amazing. So I'm giving you guys a heads up, okay? So it will be next Saturday. Do not miss it. I love you guys. Love you so much. Thank you for the unwavering support. And yeah, let me know how I can be of service to you. Connect with individuals in the comments, connect with individuals in this chat. This is a safe space. It's for y'all to collaborate, cross pollinate, and grow together. I love you all. And yeah, let me see if I'm going to do this the right way, okay? Have a good one. Take care. Thanks for joining us, and I hope our chat inspired you to make a new connection. Please like and subscribe, and let's build a great community in our little corner where we get serious business done by injecting fun. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, come back to Raquel's Connection Corner.